Hello, everybody, and welcome once again to Coffee Catch-Ups. I'm starting to lose count, but I believe we're at episode number 46. It's pretty epic considering this was started during the fact we went into lockdown, and it just proves how long it's actually been because I guess you could almost say that it's Freedom Day tomorrow. I saw one of my friends post. It's all about Freedom Day. I know that the man himself we got on today is all excited about going for a massage tomorrow because it's Freedom Day. Kyron, are you there? Let's talk about Freedom Day to start with. Hey, massage.
I am. I know. What are we? I'm booked in for 10 a.m. pretty much as soon as the massage place is open. So,
That's so good.
I adjust really easily, right? So lockdown hasn't been too tough for me. I can cope without all the restaurants and all that. I don't drink coffee anyway. So I don't think I haven't actually had any. I've had a couple of Uber Eats, but that's all right. But it's the massage which got me because, as you know, I'm a bit of an athlete. So massage is the one which.
I mean, being an athlete is probably what brings you here today. Is this your fourth appearance now on Coffee Catch-Ups? You're becoming a bit of a known face on it.
It is, and I think the biggest reason is because someone doesn't get a shit organized in time.
Well, it's probably that and just a lack
do
of
you
friends.
just love me? The lack of friends, yeah.
Lack of friends. Yes, I do have a soft spot for you and your knowledge to be able to share it with our amazing community. That's what it's all about, Kyron. It's all about that.
Fair enough. I'm always happy to share. So far away, ask me anything.
Yeah. So I'm really excited about today because for you, it's a little bit of a landmark. You've just completed something known as 75 Hard. And now I've seen a few people go through this and, you see it on their stories, day 1, day 2, day 3. And then you see some people, oops, day 1, day 2, day 3. But what it essentially, actually, tell us a little bit about what 75 Hard is and then why on earth would you do it?
Why on earth is probably a good question. We'll touch that later. 75 Hard Challenge. I can't even tell you the entrepreneurs who came up with it, right? These American guys. But the whole point of the 75 Hard Challenge is to do 75 days consistently. And there's a few different things that you need to do. I've actually got to bring up my phone because there's quite a few of them. So the first thing you need to do every single day for 75 days straight is 2 different 45-minute workouts. And one of those workouts must be outside. You must take a progress picture every day. You must do 10 pages of reading. You must drink 1 gallon of water, which comes to 3.8 liters for those of us in the real world. You must follow a diet, no cheat meals, no alcohol. So that's what the 75 Hard Challenge is. As to why I did it, I love a good challenge anyway, right? I'm always up for a challenge. But once I got into ultra marathons, what I realized is it's actually all about challenging your brain. Most challenges, the real reason most people stop, give up, screw up, even an ultra marathon, right? Where you're running 50 to anything above 50, it's not actually the body breaking down. It's usually the mind giving up. So I've got some big plans with my running, but it all comes down to the mental challenge. How do I have that mental grit in order to keep going when things get hard within the business space? And we've had a hard couple of years, right? And so for me, that was the real reason of why I did it. And there's a whole podcast. If you are interested in, just Google 75 Hard and go listen to podcasts. They'll tell you why exactly they break it down into these different challenges or these different activities to do within the challenge. And they're like, some of the ones you might think are the easiest are actually the hardest. For example, drinking 4 liters of water every day. It's actually a lot of water. And they break it down into why they put it in there and what they're hoping you're going to get out of it. But that essentially is the whole purpose of what the 75 Hard Challenge is.
And in terms of, from when you started and then progress through, I guess, the one that really stands out for me, probably, there's besides the no alcohol, is the fact that you have to do 2 45-minute workouts. I mean, that there is quite significant. But did you find your workouts changed as you went through the 75 days? Did you find, what was the process like going through? I mean, that's 150 workouts in a few months. It's pretty nuts when you look at it that way.
Yeah, it is. It is. So this is where you get to make the challenge personalized to you, right? And exactly like we did at the 100K challenge. So almost perfect finishing times, right?
Yeah.
You make the challenge what it means to you. Now, for me, when I say workout, most people are probably going to be like, oh, so does that mean I have to go do, a big gym workout or CrossFit and then go for a run? The whole point of working out, and you talk to any exercise scientist, you talk to any pro athlete, your rest days are just as important, if not more important, than when you're actually working out. So when I started, that was actually my biggest concern. How do I tie in and with my training plan, because I've still got all my running stuff, how do I build in those rest days while still completing this challenge? And for me, what I started to do is just take time walking. So for example, my rest day, I'd do a 45-minute walk instead of a run. And what was really cool, what I loved about the challenge, I'm probably jumping ahead, but it ties in anyway. What I loved about the challenge is I entered it with this really macho, manly, like, yeah, we're going to get ripped. It's going to be hard. Yeah, I'm going to be this hard guy. But what I realized, the subtlety, what they did really well, and I'm sure it was intentional, because when I did the 100K challenge, I had all the subtle underlying expectations that people would get out of it. What it does is it's nothing about being manly. It's nothing about getting ripped or anything about that. It's just habit setting. It's 75 days straight of setting habits, unbroken habits, to create new routines, to create good habits of whatever you want in life. And so, for example, what I started to discover is as I wanted certain things out of my life, I had to then adapt it to the challenge. But I started to find how to make it easier for myself, right? And so we created a habit or a routine where the alarm would go off, and the first thing I'd do is actually, Natalia and I would take a walk on the beach. So 45 minutes done and dusted. She'd have her coffee in the hand, and we'd walk along the beach, looking at Rangitoto with the sun coming above it. And it was like, oh my God, what an amazing way to start the day, right? 45-minute exercise done off. And then in the evening, that's when I'd do my real workout, my run or my body pump or whatever. So it started to create this whole new life routine that I continue to plan. I plan on continuing into the future as well.
Yeah, and I think it's really quite a powerful thing to have that motivation behind you, and almost the accountability as well. Once you're committed to this element of doing it, where you have to post. I know you're not a big Instagram story person, but it's going on your story and people are seeing that, and it's the accountability and your constant drive to be able to not only personally achieve it, but also be aware that people are watching you. And I was always impressed because we had some massive days over the last few months, massive things going on, where we would finish up a day's events, 7, 8 o'clock, and you're like, come on, Natalia, we got to get out of here. I got to go and do a workout. And you would go and do it. And I remember during one of our Cashflow masterclasses, you finished running at like 10:45 at night or something silly, and back in here the next morning to rip into it. That there takes a huge shift in the mindset and strong mindset to be able to do that. Was it, what were some of the things going through your head, or was it just like, I need to get this done?
It's that exactly that whole concept. So one of the things I learned relatively early on And this is probably relatable for everyone, right? You can't make the one person who can forgive you for not doing it the person you're accountable to, and that's yourself. So if I don't do something, I'm always going to forgive myself, right? So I look for that external accountability.
Yeah.
And so by declaring, so how all this started actually is Natalia started trialing a new diet and a new exercise regime. And within 4 days, I was looking at it going like, oh my God, like the change was that quick. And I was like, this is amazing. So I was like, well, I'm going to do the same. But if I do the same, I know I'm more than happy to cheat, like, oh, just one day off or one day. And then next thing you know, you're stuffing your face again or whatever, right? And through the challenge, I have actually researched why that happens and why when you go on a diet, you often fall off and da-da-da. We won't cover that today. But I knew that if I wanted the same results she had, then I needed to make a much bigger commitment. And so that is why I jumped on the 75 hard, because it meant I'd be on that for the 75 days. I'd have to do the diet. I'd have to do the exercise each day. And I couldn't cheat. And then the reason why I made it all public is to keep me accountable as well. I knew that if I got to day 25 and then I failed a day, then I had to go back to day 1, then it wouldn't happen. I would have just quit the whole challenge. I wouldn't. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
So I had one shot. I had to do all 75 in one go, or it just wasn't going to happen. And so that's why I made it public. And it's not actually part of the challenge to post every day. I did that. I downloaded the app. It's like $8. It's totally worth it. I would not have stayed committed without it. I would literally, it was the last thing I'd be checking. I'd be checking it every day. I knew what I needed to do every day, tick it off. And it's that feeling of accomplishment, that reward for posting it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And in terms of the accomplishment and the reward, was the daily progress pick something that was also quite inspirational and quite, was that big on your motivation as well to keep going?
That one, not too much the actual progress pick. The problem is I just had to do it every day. So a lot of times it would be, 10 o'clock at night or something. And like, what are the final things? Oh, I haven't taken my progress pick. And my body type, the difference between me first thing in the morning and at the end of the day when I've been after I've drunk 4 liters of water plus all the food, right? So the first thing in the morning is the best time to take the pick because I bloat a lot during the day. But I actually had my own system going for the whole weight loss thing. I've lost 15 kgs this year. I did fall off that bandwagon during winter and a few injuries. And I was managed, this forced me back onto it. And it was because of the 75 hard challenge that I actually finally able to tick that one off. That was more important for me from the actual body type. But I think the main thing is the main thing is how I felt, I guess. And the compliments coming from even the neighbors. We got new neighbors just before lockdown, so we haven't properly met them. It's just conversations over fence. But even they were like, "You've lost a ton of weight. You're looking amazing. I can see we've got a question popping up. Did you face any injuries?" And I guess that's referring back to the workout stage. Yeah. And I think it comes back to that machoism. A workout does not mean going hard and like, yeah, I got to pump fucking 50 kgs or whatever. A workout is getting out and moving in. And I actually have engaged my own health coach. And part of that, they call it a work in rather than working out, working in. So taking your time. And sometimes I absolutely did that. Some people might say it's cheating, whatever. I don't give a shit. It was my challenge. Sometimes it's like, actually, you know what the body needs right now? It just needs yoga. It just needs even just to sit there, meditate and focus, or do some Wim Hof breathing and focus on what does need doing. So I was not out there going hard every single day. Now, as part of that, yeah, one day I did get out and do a 56-kilometer run. Or on the weekend, just now, I did a grueling 30-kilometer run, which took bloody 6 and a bit hours, which is like, what were the numbers? 3 kilometers an hour. But, you know, it's all about balance, right? And I think that was the key thing on that. But I don't think it's about the workout. I don't think it's about the heart. I think it is, for me, it was entirely that mental grit. You know, when it's raining and you need to go out and run. And in the past, I always used rain as an excuse not to do it. But I got out there and I ran. I did my run around the lake, which is perfect 45 minutes. And I was like, actually, this is quite fun. And I discovered I quite like running in the rain. Who knew? Because I never would have done it. I actually discovered, this was part of it, right? You know how I was running at 9, 10 o'clock at night? I was like, this is actually an amazing time to run. It's not too hot. There's no one else on the roads. It's dark. It feels like an adventure. I was like, I had no idea I like running at 9, 10 p.m. So yeah, I discovered all this other stuff that I never would have known or because of those mindset barriers.
Absolutely. And, you know, in terms of the accountability, you mentioned before posting, but it must have been, you know, what I'm referring to here is having a partner, or, you know, Natalia working alongside you through the 75 hard. She didn't do it, but I know that it was just as tough on her as well, going through the 75 days. But, you know,
I think it was tougher.
Yes. Why do you say that? Expand.
Well, because one, from the mental side, but then you still have to do everything in your day-to-day, right? And so Natalia is amazing. She comes in and she starts taking care of all the back end, day-to-day routine stuff. So when I'm out running at 10 o'clock at night, well, she's making lunch for the next day, or she's making lunch, ensuring or taking into account what I can and can't eat. We were on the same diet, which made things really easy. She was happy to take a few cheat days, which is fair enough, you know, because I guess it all comes back to your intention, right? But there were some things that made it easier. The fact that I started in lockdown and it's not exactly like I've been going out to restaurants or hanging out at the bar with mates. I never really felt like I was missing out on anything. Natalia was on the same journey. We often work out together. Through the health journey, we've taken a body type test, and we discovered we have a very similar body type. So we both actually get started a lot slower and, you know, have, you know, peaceful start to the day. So both of us walking on the beach is actually quite enjoyable. We both have the same eating times, and both similar foods. So that's made it a lot easier as well. But yeah, she's been an absolute cheerleader. So lots of love out to you, Natalia. And I guess, again, you know, it's not accountability, but if you are going for your big goals, it's who do you have on your team supporting you to achieve them?
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, don't undermine what you've achieved by saying, oh, it was made a bit easier through lockdown. Still exceptional achievement, and, you know, a real positive, you know, amazing, strong mind to get through it all. You know, I guess any last words that you'd like to kind of expand on, or things that have really you've discovered about yourself, or recommendations to people that you've come across by going through this?
Yeah, it's interesting. So you talked about strong mind and stuff, right? It's something I actively seek out to look for, to put myself under that pressure, to push myself out of the comfort zone. We all go through shit in our lives, and there is a saying, the universe only throws at you what you can handle. Or, you know, there's other sayings, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, and all that sort of thing. I've gone through some pretty serious shit in my life, and I believe that's made me stronger. But I also believe I've got a much bigger role to play in the world as well, which means if I'm going to start taking on some of them, you know, I'm now challenging government around the whole legalization or housing crisis, tiny houses, and that side of things. So if I'm going to be prepared for that fight per se, then it's not about training the body as such, it's about training the mind and that mental endurance. And that very much for me is what these types of challenges or the ultra marathons and all of that is about. How do I get trained up to be able to endure the pain, the mental anguish, the bureaucracy, all of that as I fight for what I believe is right and for a future and a world that I want to see.
Well said, and hugely inspirational as always. It is great to have you on the show. Fourth time, you're definitely leading the charge of the guests at the moment. And I can see a great comment coming in from Bella. I'm really excited that she is going to be coming on the show really shortly as well. And I think a lot of the elements that Bella will talk about will relate as well, which is fantastic. Now, Kyron, in terms of where people can find you, if they'd like to find out a little bit more about who you are and what you're up to, where's the best place for people to jump on and find some information about you?
Easiest, I'm most active on Facebook, but the great thing about my name is it's very unique. So if the tech team want to bring it up, you chuck that into Google, I'll be the only one that comes up. But yeah, definitely Facebook, and of course on the Wealth Mentor platform, which is coming through early next year. So very excited. I'm spending my summer creating a whole heap of content so that we can launch next year with Wealth Mentor and all the content on that.
Oh yeah, we have a massive 2022 coming up. I'm so excited. So there you go. There's a link that has been dropped by the team there in the comments section, which has Kyron's Facebook. Make sure you check him out. Always very inspirational on a lot of the elements that he takes you through, and also some of the stuff on the future of property and a few different elements. So definitely check that one out. As well as that, I'll get the tech team to drop in there my Instagram, because I did have a goal, Kyron, that I wanted to double my Instagram followers through lockdown. I got 1 day left. I haven't doubled it, but hey, we might as well do one last push and see if we get a few more.
Are you close? Maybe I'll start following you. Would that help?
Oh no, you already do. You're a top fan.
oh yeah, that's right. Okay, sweet.
Brilliant, guys. Well, thank you very much for joining us today. It's been great to have Kyron on. Make sure you check him out on all the information. Kyron, we've actually at the office here got a little bit of a surprise, because we're very proud of what you have achieved. So I will see you in the lunchroom, because we have ordered some lunch for us all to celebrate what you have gone through and achieved. So we'll see you over the lunchroom in a few minutes.
Absolutely amazing. In fact, I'm going to go there right now. I'll let you guys finish up. Thanks, team.
Leave me some. I'll see you soon. Guys, it's been awesome to have Kyron on. Again, if you would like to jump on and join us on any of the coffee catch-ups, please reach out, hit me up on Instagram or Facebook, flick me a message, and I would love to have you come on and join us. 46 episodes. I worked it out that we're going to be having a 50th episode just before Christmas, so we'll have a good celebration for that one. Guys, make sure you jump on, you like, you subscribe, you click the bell so you get reminders when we have our coffee catch-ups. Get out there, have a fantastic weekend, keep those minds strong, and most importantly, stay awesome, everybody.